Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be repotting my Alocasia Frydek. This is the variegated form. I'm also going to be hunting for corms. So that droopy leaf is also getting cut off. I just want you to see what it looked like before. That little bulb is a corm. It's how Alocasia reproduce. It's like a seed. You pull it off, or you can leave it in the soil and eventually it'll sprout a new plant. This is the newest leaf. That's the second oldest. This is the one that's getting removed. And when I unpot these, I gently squeeze the sides to loosen up the soil. Then I turn it upside down and try to wiggle it out. And here I'm just gently removing the soil. I'm not sure if you can see it yet, but there is a netting over the roots. And it's very important that you remove that because it'll eventually end up suffocating the roots. So this is that netting I mentioned earlier. It's kind of like cotton. It's black and it's all around the base of the roots. So here you can see I've got several corms. I think there's about 5 that I took off this plant, and I left about 2 more that were still forming. I do want to mention that if you're going to repot your plant that was in soil into more soil, you don't have to do all this. You can get corms without completely removing the soil. I'm just removing all the soil because I plan on putting this in moss and in a semi-hydro setup. So I need all the soil and organic matter to be off the plant to prevent root rot. The corms are very easy to remove. Sometimes you don't even have to remove them. They'll just come off when you're disturbing the soil. But if it does give you any resistance, just twist it and it'll come off easy. Here's a close-up of the corms I removed. There were 5 in total. This is my go-to orchid mix. I use it for some of my Alocasia and some of my other plants that needs a chunky mix that's airy. This is a significant upsize, but again, the potting medium that I'm using is very chunky, and this is used to kind of holding on to some moisture in the soil. So I want something that's gonna be enough air, but also have some moisture retention. This is the slow release fertilizer I use on pretty much all my plants. I found with my alocasia, it's best to not cover up the very base of the plant. So the green part, where it has kind of rings around it, that's where some aerial roots can come out, and also corms. I noticed that if I cover that up, I'm more likely to get root rot or stem rot. So I try to keep that area free of any type of materials. And I'm not going to show it here, but I will add a stake to help keep this up. And here I'm just taking a clean pair of scissors and cutting off that leaf. I usually let them stay until they're crispy, but since I'm repotting this and I want it to look nice for the video, I'm just cutting it off now. And here I'm adding more of the orchid bark to try to get this to stand up, but I'm also being careful to keep that base from getting covered. And this is a close-up of the old leaf. I usually like to take a look at them while they're dying off or while they're changing colors or whatever's going on to try to get a clue as to why the leaf is dying. If it's because a new leaf is coming in, or if it's because there's not enough fertilizer, if I'm over underwatering. I think this is getting too much direct sunlight, but there's also a new leaf that just came in. And this is Super Thrive. I like to use this sometimes to help when I'm repotting a plant or if I'm doing water propagations. And I'm not going to show it, but I'm going to water this very well. I'm also not going to add any fertilizer because I already added that slow release fertilizer, but I will add fertilizer my next watering. This is what it looks like up close. And this is the newest leaf. It starts off green on green variegation, a little yellow at some times, and then it fades to white. So it'll be green on white. Now for the fun part, the corms. So this is a Alocasia corazon, I believe. The original plant died, but I had a couple corms that I put random places, and this one popped up. That's also a heart leaf. Philodendron, I believe. I think it may be a pothos. I got it for free as a cutting. But anyway, I'm taking these corms. I'm gonna take some of the skin off of some of them. The rest of them I'm just gonna place how they are. But this is what it looks like up close. I keep getting asked, what is a corm? What do they look like? This is basically a seed, and you can get a whole new plant from these. So I'm taking these corms and I'm putting them in leca, which has water filled about halfway up. I'm just gonna place these around, cover them with like a single piece of leca, just so that there's air and water and enough space and darkness for it to come out. Eventually I will add moss to this. I keep running out. I just bought a whole new container and I'm already out. So here's another close-up of a corm. That little white bit at the top is the top. That's where the plant's gonna come out. The piece that I'm holding is the bottom. If you have a long stem at the bottom, you can break it. I usually leave it alone unless it's soft, and then I'll take it off. But they can be white or green, and the skin is usually brown, although depending on the plant, they can be red if you have a cupria or even a black velvet. I'm also being careful not to plant them too deeply because I don't want these to rot. If they sit in water for a very long time, then it's gonna rot eventually. And this is one that has a pretty long stem. You can just snap that right off if you want. So I just squeezed that corm, and I'm about to rip this little bit off. But sometimes you can squeeze them to make sure that it's a good corm. If it gives away, then it's probably rotten and it's not gonna sprout. So here you can see I have a white one and a green one, and I'm not gonna peel these all the way because you can damage the corm, but also you don't have to peel it all the way, just enough for it to start sprouting. And I'm also placing 2 of the corms back with the original plant. There's also 2 corms still attached to the plant that are developing still. So eventually with this one plant, I'm gonna have around 7 corms, and I have another plant that has 3 corms sprouting already. If you'd like to see an update on how my corm pups are doing, give me a like and subscribe. Also leave a comment, tell me what you want to see next. So this is the fungicide. I'm using this as a preventative. I haven't seen any type of pest on this, but I know that they can get mites really bad, so I'm trying to prevent that. I'm also gonna spray the corms, but very lightly. This is what the plant looks like all done. The yellowish green. This is probably one of my favorite Alocasia at the moment, besides my green unicorn, which, if you stay tuned, check out my next video, you'll be seeing what's going on with that one very soon. Also, if you like this tray, let me know. I do custom trays. I can do coasters, basically anything with resin. Just hit me up. I do have this plant in the east window with the blind, so it's getting a little bit of direct sunlight, but mainly indirect. Here's a close-up of the other tray. I love the space themes. But again, if you want anything custom, let me know.